Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Pre-Heresy and Codices, where I look at one Space Marine Legion per ramble, give you my thoughts on what codex or codices would best represent them in a 40k army list build, and then talk a little bit about collecting this particular legion. Now, on the chopping block this time is the Imperial Fist Legion. And right off the bat, starting with that color scheme, you can see that really there is no change pre to post heresy. The only difference of note is the backpack. The backpack is black as opposed to being yellow. But really, aside from that, the Legion color is the same. And honestly, if you were to paint up the Pre-Heresy, or if you have started painting them up already and you made their backpack yellow, I don't think it's any real problem. So, no need to freak out about it. You could easily just paint it black again, or you could just leave it and be fine. But we do have also the Unification Era look, because while they don't have their full model range out yet, they do have ourselves in one of the Forge World Horus Heresy books, Book 3. So we have a Unification Era scheme, as you can see here. It's basically like a bolt gun metal color, lead belcher color, and the right shoulder pad inset and the right forearm are yellow. The left shoulder pad symbol is in yellow, and they have a yellow stripe down their helmet, which is a pretty cool look. I like that style. So if you're a fan of the Unification Era, want to collect the Unification Era force, this is what the Imperial Fists look like. So, with that being said, let's look at what codex would best represent them. Now really there's only one true codex to represent them in my opinion, and that is the generic Space Marine Codex. We have chapter tactics for the Imperial Fist as a chapter, which can carry over and work for an Imperial Fist legionary type of force. With that, if you wanted to spice it up with a special character, you have two options. You have Lysander, accounts as, of course, because we're talking about the pre-heresy time period. So if you wanted to do that, you have a accounts as Lysander, which can give you a certain feel just due to the nature of the special character. And you also have access to Pedro Cantor, accounts as for him. Yes, he's a Crimson Fist, but as you know, Crimson Fists are successors of the Imperial Fists, and they utilize the Imperial Fist chapter tactics in this book. But there is one other option out there for you, and that's this codex, but utilizing the Black Templars chapter tactics. Now this is a little bit outside the box, perhaps, maybe not up everybody's not up to everybody's snuff, if you will, not your cup of tea, but I had an idea when I was thinking about collecting the Imperial Fist as a pre-heresy force to do Sigismund's command, which is basically him and the Marines under his command, and he's first captain, will go on to basically become the Black Templars. So doing kind of a Imperial Fist army, very clearly Imperial Fist, but with Black Templar accents and whatnot, and therefore run them with the Black Templars chapter tactics. It's an idea. It's not something that floats everybody's boat, but it is definitely an idea, and it gives you another option in this codex, which I feel is pretty cool. Now, whatever option you take in this codex, there are restrictions. We're talking about representing a pre-heresy force here. So, no Land Raider, Redeemer, or Crusader, unfortunately. They just didn't exist at the time. And no Centurion squads, because they didn't exist either. And no Legion of the Damned squad, because they weren't around either. The Flyers, take them or leave them, is up to you. I personally would leave them just to make it easier on myself, but that's up to you. So, with that being said, let's look at collecting a Imperial Fist Legionary force. Now, first up, we gotta know, when it comes to power armor, no Mark 7 helmets and no Imperial Eagles on the chest plate or anywhere else on the armor. For the most part. If you have your HQ having, let's say, the Imperial Eagle on it somewhere, you would be able to get away with it in my book. It's the HQ, maybe it's a special honor for that guy to have it. But if it's plastered all over your force, it's not gonna work. So that's for power armor, and for turn rated armor, we gotta look at Tartaros and Cataphracti style of armor only. so that means all the GW's Terminator stuff is not usable. Now remember, if you're good at converting stuff and scratch building using plastic card and whatnot, you could probably make those work just fine. I'm talking about it the easiest route, the easiest method, especially for people who aren't really good at converting stuff up like that. And in that case, just stay away from GW's Terminators and get it strictly from Forge World. So Forge World stuff right now, all the generic Horus Heresy stuff is of course going to work for you. Imperial Fist specific, we only have two things really right now, as of this ramble at the very least. We have the Imperial Fist torso upgrade and the Imperial Fist head upgrades. Both look fantastic. If I was an Imperial Fist player, I'd definitely get them anyway, even if it was a post-Heresy army. They look really cool. And what I see sneak peeks of is an Imperial Fist Contemptor. So that will be coming as well. We don't really have anything else yet, even though they are in a Pre-Heresy, not a Pre-Heresy, I always say they are in a Horus Heresy book from Forge World. They are in the book 3 of the Horus Heresy series from Forge World. Their full model range isn't out yet, which is fine. There's a whole methodology of how they're doing stuff there, Forge World for it, and it's fine. But it will be coming out. When that happens, I'll be redoing this ramble. So I will redo this once we get the full Forge World Horus Heresy range of Imperial Fist products out there. But with that being said, that's all we got on Forge World side. Now, on GW side, we actually have some options. There is the Crimson Fist, that's the word I'm looking for, the Crimson Fist upgrade packs out there. And the Crimson Fist upgrade packs, there's 3 of them. They come with backpacks, except for one of them. The Command Squad upgrade pack doesn't. But the other 2 have backpacks. They all come with shoulder pads, and they come with some helmets. Now remember, Mark 7 helmets are not usable, so some of those helmets, or most of those helmets, won't be usable. But the shoulder pads, the backpacks, and in the case the weaponry for some of them are all usable. They also sell the shoulder pads separately, just as shoulder pads. At the very least, I'd recommend getting the Assault Squad upgrade pack or the Command Squad upgrade pack, because you're going to get the most usable stuff out of that. And they look fantastic. They are labeled as Crimson Fist, but Crimson Fist and Imperial Fist share the same symbol, just painted in a different color, so you'll be just fine. So that's really your big option from GW. Another good option you're going to have if you plan to go the Black Templar-ish route is the Black Templars chapter upgrade. There you have a bunch of stuff. Not all of it's going to be usable. The Mark 7 helmets won't be usable, but you got some cool older Marks of helmet in there. The Terminator shoulder pads won't be usable. But the weaponry will be, the backpack will be, the bits will be, especially some of the vehicle bits to help spice it up will be useful for you. So there's a lot of cool, useful stuff in there. And that can help if you're going to paint them up, maybe a black torso with the rest of it being yellow, or a black arm with the Black Templar symbol on one side, and then a yellow arm with the Imperial Fist symbol on the other, and the rest of the armor is yellow. Stuff like that to help it stand out as an Imperial Fist Legion force, but these guys are the ones that become the Black Templars, part of Sigismund's command. I think it's just a cool look. So if you are going that route, this is another bit option for you from GW. Other than that, there isn't really much else out there for the Imperial Fist at the moment. Remember, no Mark 7 helmet, no Imperial Eagle on a chest plate or anywhere else in the armor if you can spare it. And other than that, you have access to all of the generic stuff from Forge World's Horus Heresy section. And that's really it. So thanks for sticking through this one. It was kind of shortish because I didn't have much to ramble about in regards to a lot of bit stuff or kit stuff, because we haven't had Forge World stuff come out yet fully for them. But that's it for now. I will be redoing this Legion like I said earlier, and the next Legion on the chopping block is going to be the Night Lord's Legion, so stay tuned for that, and thanks for sticking through it. So until next time, Take it easy.